right, well, I think I'm good. I'll start the live stream. We will redo the audio stream here. And we'll get the proper stuff, and I'll be back in... Oh, it won't let me do it. Oh, I see. Let's cancel that. Hold on. Okay, that works. I think the live setting is up. I have to do one little thing here. Okay, that works. I think the live setting is up. Echo. We'll take care of that. I have to do one little thing here. Okay, that works. I think the live setting is up. We'll take care of that. I have to do one little thing here. Okay, that works. I think the live setting is up. We'll take care of that. Whenever I restart the streams, it resets all the other streaming controls. I think we are good now, and I will be right back. But I have an intruder alert here in the OTR studios. We have Kitty alerts, so I have to say hi, Kitty, and say bye. So I have to say I have to put Kitty somewhere where there are no wires to chew and mischief to get into. So Insane Kitty Theater will be postponed for tonight. I'll be right back here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
The good-looking tabby cat.
Hey, Kitty.
What you doing, Uncle Monkey?
Come on, buddy.
This thing, Bones could have something strange.
Okay, and then someone said...
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, your Old Tube Radio Network, thank you to Mr. Freeberg. And are all the lights on? I don't know. We have to do lights here. Looks like it's kind of okay. X4000 and the Jingle Singers will be joining us tonight, especially later on as we get into the Tube Radios that will be happening, the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers sitting in the air chair, coming to you tonight from Central California, beaconing on frequency 27085, channel 11, or maybe A, B, C, D, or E on your tube radio. Something that we have been doing here on the air, over the air, for a long, long time. I don't know, 37 years or so. It's a get on the air night. It's a way to recreate the sound and the feel of the CB radio as many of us knew it in the 1960s and 70s. And to do that, we can do it well by having not only the same frequency, but the same radios that many of us used. If you're new to old tube radios, stay tuned, because we'll try not only to give you representatives of the voices coming out of the speakers, but the radios themselves, the cool radios that might remind you of the old-fashioned cars, right? The vintage cars that were around at the time. So anyway, it's fun. Everybody has a good time, and we try to make sure that everybody gets a chance to transmit on their radios as they come by. Of course, you don't need to have a radio to say hello. We are streaming at oldtuberadio.net audio, and there's a video thing going on as well. If you click on the link where you can leave a comment and or see all the stuff that is going on. But we, if you are local, we encourage you to participate by firing up and turning on your old tube radio, and we'll be talking with everybody in just a little bit after our roll call. Like to see our shortwave listener, who people are out there, what they are doing. And let me get the roll call check-in list up, and we will start with 00. And 00 is indeed Mr. Neil out of Kakalaki, so he will be by at some point if he hasn't stopped by already. And we'll find out what is going up that way. SWL number 1 is in, of course, on the Cosmic Check-in OBP. SWL number 2 is also out there, and he is over on the video side. So you want to say hello, Radio to Kevin, please do so. He is a smart guy when it comes to radios and all things tubes, and it looks like our sunspot numbers are going up, as well they should be. Now, whether we will have good conditions, that's another story. Getting a check-in for SWL3. SWL5, Mr. Rainmaker, somewhere near the Hudson Valley, I believe, is out there tonight, so I will get Levon checked in. Over to SWL7.
Number 7, checking in through the noise.
Oh, is your local QRM/N going on?
Yeah, it's been on and off. It's been really weird today.
Yeah, mine is, it's less and more, but I think, we'll see what happens at the 9:08 time to see if it comes on again. All right, well, you obviously sound good through any noise I have, so thanks for stopping by.
And thank you.
Breaker.
And there is the 147. Hi, Neil. I've got you checked in. We'll get you at 147. Let me take a pause in the action. We'll pick up the breaking station, and we'll also ask for any early check-ins. So the breaker, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. B553, Bel Air, the Legend, checking in, and I want to say hi up there to Jay Bird is listening. So you guys have a good one, 73s, and Happy New Year.
All right. Thank you, Bob. We got you checked in. Those playing the home game should be checking in. This is the 4th week of the 8-week roster, 7th day of January 2023. Any other stations that need to get an early check-in to continue on with what they're doing?
Oh, please.
All right. We got Pinedale. We've got you in. You are sounding good, as always.
Thank you, sir. Everybody else, have a great night. Bel Air, you're sounding loud and proud. Thank you very much, sir. You have a good evening there, 10-4.
And I hear Joseph, SWL 24. We've got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by. The break OTR. Go ahead. Over.
Yeah, 61 with early check-in. I'm out in the garage tonight. The helicopter took my antenna out at the house.
No. All right. Well, you actually sound pretty good. I know there's a helicopter that flies around here all the time, but my antenna isn't up high enough to do anything, and we're having some good weather, so no winds and things. All right, we've got you checked in. You're sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis. You guys have a good evening and Happy New Year, bud.
And good luck on on getting things replaced.
Thank you.
All right, I will continue with our directed net roll call. The radios are coming up. Mr. Ed sounding good. Looking for, let's see, SWL 10. Chrissy and Dwayne. I will keep an eye on the chat window. I don't see them yet, but I'm sure they will be out there. SWL 11. Someone did say Fresno, and they also said Cornbread, seeing if 11 and 12 are out there. Dapper Dan and the Dan, soon to be coming by a station near you. SWL 13. Also, if you can get in to the feed over at oldtuberadio.net, you can check in there as well. And I do look at those comments. We will get a check-in for Mr. Cobra SWL 13. Turn down my headphone audio just a bit, so they do not get that nasty feedback. SWL 14.
SWL 14 checking in, and also there was a 111 that I heard out there wanting to check in.
Okay, that's Bob. He often comes by from Reedleytown, and he usually sounds pretty darn good, but I think he has a high noise level as well, and so he may not hear Fresno. So good to hear that Bob was in there, so we'll get him check in. And you are sounding good as well.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate that. Everybody out there, have a nice evening.
Okay, yeah, on the little kitty at the beginning, someone dropped that kitten off about a month and a half ago in the bushes around the corner, and I mean that little dude was a tiny thing, so I sort of planned on rehoming it, and I think it decided no, we found a home. So, but the radio room is not kitty proofed yet, so. Kitty will not be making an appearance. Got you checked in. Hopefully I'll get through the roll call and we will get a couple of radios out your way. Thanks. Over to SWL 16. Charlie out near Anoka, Minnesota, who is joining us tonight as always. And making sure that, I don't think there's anything going on. You guys are going to have an easy night tonight. We've got no live recordings, no wacky stuff. It's going to be check-ins, and radios. So a good way to start the new year here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 17, SWL 18, SWL 19, and Chet is with us from Derby, New York, by way of Belfast, Maine, by way of whatever. I think they get a free ride in the big red limo with the cue cards tonight. They're looking good. Did we get a new marker? The letters are all nice and bold. All right, well, yeah, I probably got the Costco card and got a new big magic marker for the cue cards. I shouldn't make any mistakes tonight. If I do, it's my fault. Let's go to SWL 20.
Oh, number 20 here. Please check me in, 2954 and 135. I'll be in and out of the radio room tonight, Dennis. One way or the other, I'll be listening, but not all the time. So, anyway, please check me in again, and we'll catch you a little later.
All right. It's sort of like me. It's sort of listening, but not all the time. No, I try to listen as much as I can. You are sounding good now. If you don't make it back, you are checked in, but as you know, we always enjoy any and all radios that might come out of the tech bench out that way. Let's see. Before we go to 21, I want to say 147 is in decent conditions from the southwest and the west coast. But it says, what's with you guys ignoring us on the East Coast in favor of Australia? East Coast radios need love too. Well, Australia and Hawaii come in really good, and they come in really often. It's the same way that Europeans come in to you guys. So I will apologize in advance for those that might ignore the stations coming in from the East Coast, and we will endeavor to do better. Actually, I think as Cycle 25 improves, it's going to be hard to ignore anybody, because we will all be hearing them simultaneously and at the same time. SWL 21 is in, Mr. JT. Listening in. Old Radio Night, taking a break tonight, and I'll just do a pause here, because one thing I think that is the reason we've been on a long time is our listeners and our tube radio operators, their demeanor to create and keep what we all remember, for those of us who are back in the 1960s and 70s, was the CB radio. It was a family thing. It was a place to have fun. It was the first social media. And it was something that, for many of us, if we didn't start as teenagers or whatever with our walkie-talkies, was something that our parents did, or we knew one of our family members, and they passed that radio or that radio sense down along to us. And it was a family thing. So, JT... hopefully people out where you are remember that. I mean, some of them might be on they're newer operators, and they don't realize the history of CB and the fact that it's a tradition passed down amongst family members, and it's a gather place, a place to hang out. So we will be looking forward to your return next week. But like I said, sometimes you have to take a timeout, and that is a good thing. So let's go over to SWL 22.
Break channel.
And the break channel. Go ahead. Over.
Hey Dennis, this is 777. I'm just checking in with you.
All right, 777. You have a great signal. Where are you at?
I'm here in Fresno.
All right, and I am too. A lot of the stations we're hearing tonight will be in Fresno, Central Valley, up in the foothills. And if you are able to stay tuned, you will hear some of the classic tube radios coming up after the roll call. If not, or you're not by the radio, you can always join us on the live stream going on now at YouTube or at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for stopping by.
YouTube.
And this is something we do every Saturday evening, starting at 8 p.m. on this channel. And we have been doing it for a long time. All right, I think I can try out my Echo link if I were to actually find the proper computer screen and mouse. So we'll see if Tyler is around from Anchorage. I think he's up on the YouTube side, and we'll see how that works. KL5TW, KB6GFD, take a transmission.
What channel are you on Fridays?
We are on 11 right now, and on Fridays, the Ditchbanks sideband net happens on channel 36 lower sideband.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and I'm not... if that was... thank you, 777. Tyler, if that was you, I got a transmission or a key up, but no audio. Over. All right, well, I see that you are there. We will get you checked in, and if we get a little time, maybe we'll stop back in and see what's happening up in your neck of the woods. Looking forward to catching you on and over the air when we get our Cycle 25 conditions. Have a great evening, KB6GFD. All right, 22 is in. SWL 23, back from the world tour, no doubt, and joining us to 2023, the year of Skidoo, if you're looking at the proper calendar or maybe the improper calendar. Thanks for joining us. SWL 24 checked in moments ago. SWL 25. And we've got Jerry checked in. I heard him on the Wednesday night for sure. So I know he's out and around. He may be doing some musical items tonight. Over to SWL 27. And I will get Dwayne checked in. He's the guy that checked me in on Wednesday night, one of the net controllers on the Wednesday night net, which is on amateur radio, 10 meters, 28, 445, upper sideband, of course, open to all. So if we get some conditions and you can SWL up there on 10 meters to the west coast, you might hear us, be able to take a transmission after that. Otherwise, give it a listen locally if you can get in and get on. Let's go to SWL 28. Gary is there. Thanks for checking in. I think things have calmed down up your way in Sacramento. I was talking to my friend Dan. He said there was some big weather action going on, so hopefully everything is all the antennas are still on your roof. 28 is checking in, finally recovered from the Green Room New Year's Eve party, as have I. And then I had to clean things up after that party. I can always tell it's a good party by how long it takes me to clean up. Never thought I would see that you would see me dance with a lampshade on my head. Is that what that was? I could have sworn it was the old tube radio cap. Thank you, Gary, for checking in. SWL 29, we've got a check-in for Mr. Loner. Still looking for 30 and 10. Let's see, are they there? I don't know if I'm missing them. We'll see. We'll make sure they get in. SWL 31. SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33, myself. Bozo Control, all the gang here at the old tube radio network. Okay, Dwayne is in. All right. 30 and 10 are in, so I will get the X in the square. I thought I saw some activity over on the YouTube side. SWL 34. Good to see pictures of Jimmy doing well and looking good and getting back into the radio action and the Facebook action. So I will get 34. I will get Railroader and Captain Chaos checked in. SWL 35, Mr. Bill, if I check my other screen way over here, my guess is I will see a 35. Not yet. I'll refresh the page, but he will be out there. I want to say hello to those who are out there at the unknown SWL. If you see someone running around the studios here with a bag over their head and a rubber duck antenna, that is the unknown SWL. Up in the balcony, San Francisco, Dallas, Georgia, coming up to you. Nelson, let's see what's going on there this morning, where it is cloudy, 43 degrees. And the sun isn't quite up yet at 4:40. The Pendle wavelengths and the Marsden Park Golf Course are all doing well. Thanks for joining us here on the old Tube Radio Network. Always good to have you along. Who else? Shinston, West Virginia, Florence, Kentucky, Woodland Park, Colorado, as always with the beams pointed this way on the hill with some snow on it, no doubt. Inez, Kentucky, Moraga, and Bowling Green, Van Man. Van Man in the special extra seat. You have the season tickets going on. Let's try SWL 36. SWL 37, I heard Chris say that he had to step away from the radio, so I will get Chris checked in, 37. SWL 38, Sam was on the board here moments ago, so I will say hello to Sam. We do have you checked in, over. SWL 39. SWL 40, Larry was on. He was like the first station that jumped in when we put up the video. So Larry, Happy New Year to you, and we've got you checked in. Uh, 41, Road Dog 507. Don't see 41 yet, but he should be there. SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43. I've got a proxy check in. SWL 44. Shortwave listener 45. Hey, Paul. Yeah, you're a little weak to my station tonight, but I hear you, and I'm getting you checked in. Thanks for standing by. And there's Sam. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Sam, but they're going to have to. I think they're going to have to move a big mountain. they're going to have to excavate a mountain for us to hear each other. Maybe they're doing that with that high-speed rail. Maybe they'll chop down a mountain or something so we can hear each other. SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47. SWL 48. I'll get Sammy checked in. He was out there on the Ditch Banks sideband net last night, sounding good. And Van Man, actually, absolutely, this is why we are all here on the radio and why we are really, I guess, adamant that people remember what this is. Van Man saying that back in the 70s, he helped deliver newspapers. He was in high school, and with that money, he was able to get his Robin 23 channel. And when school was out during a big snow, that CB radio was the greatest thing ever on a snowy day off. And that's how I got my first Regency Imperial. I worked at the bowling alley keeping score. People throw quarters at you, and eventually you'd get enough quarters after months and months to buy a radio. That's how I did it as well. And so I want people to remember that's what it's about. So you want to be nice. Let's see. Let's go over to SWL 49. And, I did hear Brian earlier on. I think he was on a Browning sounding really good. He makes his Brownings. I don't know what he does, but he really gets a good sound out of the Brownings. He tames them down without killing the Browning sound somehow, but he really gets some good fidelity out of them. So we've got Smitty and Sweet Country Mama checked in over to SWL 50. SWL 51.
SWL 51, check in.
All right, speaking of good sounds, Mr. Consistent on that radio from near Sangertown, 305, you are sounding good. Thanks for joining us. All right, and I will go back to we'll try the Echo link. See if it's working this time for SWL 52, KB6 GFD.
Good evening, Dennis and everyone else on the net. SWL 52 from behind the golden microphone.
Or as it is, maybe the headset gaming microphone or something like that. You're sounding good on the Echo link. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the test before the net. At least I knew it would be working for something. KB6 GFD.
Roger.
All right, 52 is in. 53, Mr. Belair in moments ago. Over to page 3. SWL 54 is checking in. Let's try SWL 55. And I don't think I heard him on the Ditch Banks net last night. Let's try SWL 56.
56, just for kick.
And Phil is in. Yeah, my GPS tracker is down. I was trying to get the DX maps in. It's up, but they're not showing anything. Magnetic, they're not showing anything on the maps. It just showed me a blank screen, so I don't know what's going up with that. But anyway, I hope you're having a good 2023 so far, and we will get you checked in. Over to, oops, I messed up my screen here. Over to SWL 57. Mr. Brown Dog Audio, right there on the screen, checking in. The annual BDA New Year's Bash went off without a hitch. Spare ribs kept warm over 3,500Zs, and a hair of Brown Dog shots for everyone. Cheers and have a great new year. You know, those 3,500Zs, they're not just they're not just for skipland anymore. You get that nice heavy-duty aluminum foil and your favorite mix of maybe chicken or a steak, or wrap them up there with some potatoes and carrots, and talk away. And when you can talk no more, it'll be time to eat. Good deal. Or as you can just get your Robin T123B and turn it on for 5 minutes, and that might do it the same thing. SWL 58. I'll get Jeremy checked in. We were bad mouthing him the other day, I think, on the Dishbag sideband net. But he's a good guy. He's wait. He got his extra. What did he do? He did something. He did something good. So he did something like he doesn't do anything good. No, he is doing fine, and I know we will be hearing him out of Tennessee when we get the conditions. SWL 59, Uncle Hairball, who is around somewhere. So I'll get Uncle Hairball checked in 59. How about SWL 60?
Thanks, Dennis. Hello to everyone out there. SWL 60 checking in.
All right, 60, you are sounding fine. Was there a breaking station?
Affirmative, 50 checking in.
All right, that's easy to do because in my little chart here, the 50 is right above the 60. Now, not so on the analog paper, but, I've got so much practice checking 50 in for the last 30 years. It's easy to do. Mark, you're sounding good. So Mark is in. Joe is in. I got to find the right page. The Old Tube Radio Network, SWL 61. Dino sounding good from wherever he was. I don't know what antenna he was on, but sounding good. Let's do SWL 62. That's Mr. KD. SWL 63. Get a check in for Butterbean out of North Georgia. SWL 64. Out there in Nine Land. I'll have to check my list of lists. I don't think I've seen him out there yet. Oh, there is Sacramento Dan. We checked in Gary, and I was talking about Dan, who is trying not to get flooded out. I think everything is good. You are not late. I will get you checked in. The Echolink is disconnected. We're up. I think we're up. We got a couple of stations waiting to go here, so if you can get in, we'll say hello radio. If not, we'll probably catch you tomorrow down on 40 meters. Dan is one of the audio crew on 7199 that runs one of those nice sounding radios with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So it's always fun. And Dan, welcome back to the States on 2023. Thanks for joining us. I want to say hello to, well, I'm keyed up here, or is it keyed down? Captain Robert, glad to have you back online with us. So, too bad, that's not the best place to spend the holidays. But I'm glad that you are back in the air chair to say hello to us. And as they say, take it one step at a time. And we'll be checking you in next week for sure. So thanks for joining us. And hopefully 2023 is going to be a good year for you. Thanks for stopping by. Let's try SWL 65. SWL 66. Shortwave listener 67. Internet might be down up there in Canby. I will get Bill checked in. Let's try SWL 68. Is it too late to be checking in from New York? I don't know. SWL 69, Kenny in Tulsa. If you are in, I missed you up on the big board here, but we will get you checked in because I know you will stop by sometime this week if you're not here already and put your check in. We'll give you a thumbs up on the chat when you do. Kenny used to be out here in the Central Valley and now out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but still joins us to have a good time on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's try SWL 70. Okay, and I lost my picture. I think we're going to get double audio here in a second. But I wanted to see if Stan is in. SWL71 from Dallas, Georgia. I would know he's up in the balcony. And there he is checking in. Working the ARRL RTTY Roundup. RU. Let me turn off the double audio here. Who is that guy? If Stan is... Tell him. Tell him. I'm talking. The ARRL RTTY Roundup this weekend. Stan, if you're listening and you get a chance to type in, where are the RTTY frequencies? Obviously, they're going to be in the low end of the bands. I'm assuming that's where you would go. I don't have an old machine, but my RS AEA PK232, I think, would do, or should do, RTTY, if I were to have it set up to do that. But it might be kind of fun to use it to decipher that and do some, RY, or whatever it is that you do on RTTY. So good for you. And Stan is always, he is not afraid. He's one of those guys not afraid to get into those digital modes that require a code key and things like that. So very good. I might get into that someday. Let's go over to SWL72. Shortwave listener 73. SWL 74. Got a proxy for Miss Jilly. SWL 75. SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis. 77 over here on the Peanut Whistle. Checking in, waving a hand to everybody, and get ready for the next big one that's coming in. And we might get some pretty good wind on Monday, so make sure the antennas are battened down. 73s.
Yeah, I hear, we got you checked in. I hear through the grapevine such that it is that this next storm coming in is going to be a little bit more powerful than the last one. Someone even mentioning they're hearing the wind. I had the window open because it was kind of stuffy in here. And I just got a big blast of air coming through. So maybe we're starting to get the low pressure already with the wind. So if I have to go close the window, I will do that. Someone asking what type of microphonium. This is an AKG condenser, as a W1HLR would say, an AKD condenser microphonium. And it's the pop filter's falling off here. And it has a condenser body, and then it has a cartridge element that you screw into the front depending on whether you want directional or bidirectional or whatever. This is a super cardioid element, which means it will, if I'm in front of it, it's good. If I'm off to the side, it kind of fades off there. But that's what we are using, the AKG 460B, I think, which is no longer made because it's a very old microphone. So let's see, where are we going? SWL, thank you, Dennis. SWL 78. Keep an eye out for Wild Wildemar. SWL 79. SWL 80. And we'll be going to Bob and Steve, our first episode of the year. Before we do that, Radio Randy. Checking in on the YouTube, I think, somewhere out there. SWL 99, I will get Randy checked in. Had a great conversation with Randy this afternoon. Probably talk to him again tomorrow. He's another one of the audio guys. And Randy sat in the air chair, if I didn't say this before, of the AMI-net. That's the AM. That's the equivalent of the old Tube Radio Network down on 75 meters. Where our radios weigh 17 to 20 pounds, the radios he checks in weigh hundreds of pounds, and they're on big roll-around wheels. So Randy is a net controller for that. And, thanks, Dan. Lauren, on 3584 7085. So it's just above, because I think the FT8's like at 70, 74, something like that. So, yeah. Go down to the low end of the 75 or 80 meters and listen for those RTTY guys and see if you can copy. What else? do we want to get to that? I want to say hello to some people that are also listening in. Jungle Joe C. Video Gates. Hello, radio. Thanks for stopping by here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Teresa, hello to you. I hope you're enjoying the Old Tube Radio Network. We'll be getting to the radios shortly. UDX 347 out of Tennessee, joining us tonight on OTR, and a host of others. Let me take a break here, and we'll be back with Bob and see what's going on. John Farrar's also in listening, and Eric says I'm looking dapper. Yeah, we're back to Eric. I'm back to the regular suit here. They kept it for me. I thought maybe they had thrown it out because I hadn't worn it for a couple of weeks, but it's still there. Back in a moment on OTR. And it is time for Bob and Steve to tell us what they've been doing.
0850 OTR Channel 11.
What has been happening around the QTH here, the Old Tube Radio Network, episode 149 for January 7th, 2023. As they say in the new Top Gun Maverick movie, and we're off. Well, I don't know how they say it. I should, because I may have said it incorrectly. But we are off and on and into the new year 2023. The Jingle Singers removed all the Christmas decorations from the house and the Green Room Lounge, and they are all back in those little boxes to go up on the shelf and get dusty for the next 300 days or so, but at least we know where they are. I think we even replaced some of the burned out lights so that when we get them off next year, we don't have to go looking for light bulbs, so thanks for that. DX Engineering called and told us that we can keep the Yaesu FTDX 9000 MP. Are you sure? Are you sure it was DX Engineering and not that little kid down the street? Hey, this is DX Engineering, and you can keep that radio. So please double check that, because we would not want the DX Engineering police to come up. Maybe we can just keep the speaker. I would be happy just to have that speaker to go with my radio. They ask us to set it up for all to see. All right, well, it's a display. DX Engineering, they're good. And so we have to. I know we have to put the little DX Engineering logo up on the display, but that's fine. They have sold a number of these units after the guys saw it in the lounge. Well, that's good. There you go. It's a good promotion. So we are helping the cause. Everyone is using the same Costco card. Yeah, I know. I know what name is on that card. At the bar tonight from Hudson Valley. Where is Hudson Valley, California? Benjamin's Steakhouse is all set up in the Green Room Lounge. I did smell something good when I came in, and I knew it was coming from there. They even brought their fireplace to make things look good. Those little portable fireplaces are all over now. You can join us after the net, and if you do, I will give out the password. It is don't forget to feed the fish, and you'll be able to get in and have everything you want.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
All right, back to the control room here. And page 4. Here we go. SWL 81. SWL 82.
82 checking in from the ditch banks of Biola. Good evening.
And sounding marvelous from the ditch banks of Biola, and just that reminder that we always do, that if you are out and about on Friday evenings near your radio, check out 27365, the lower sideband portion of your radio, and you will hear the Ditch Banks sideband net with Ron at the controls most of the time. And there is even a space to check in for visitors and Skipland and all that good stuff. So I was there last night. It worked out quite nice. And we had a little radio talk after the net, and everything is good. So thanks for doing the Friday night nets, Ron.
All right, and thanks for doing tonight's net, and thanks for the radio chat after the net. It was good. I might have learned something.
Well, I don't know. If it was from me, probably not. But you probably, whatever it is that you learned, you probably already knew it. Thanks for joining us. Let's go to SWL 83. SWL 84, and we will also get 86, 87, and 88 checked in. Respectively, Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. I know you're out there. You're all out there listening somewhere. Let's go to SWL 89, SWL 90, shortwave listener 91. Wow, you must have really good internet streams, or you're good at the latency delay, because I said 91, and I looked down, and it just popped up on my screen. Hello, Felix. We are all ready to go. And he's saying hi to the tube radio operators and the SWLs. Tube radio operators getting ready. I can smell those tubes warming up now. Let's go to SWL 92. Shortwave listener 93. SWL 95, Warthog 95 in the building tonight. I see you there checking in from Orlando, Florida. I don't know what happened to Florida on 40 meters. I used to hear them coming in at night. I haven't listened for Mal. He's down in Hollywood. Usually on evenings on, what is it, on 77.188 in the hole in the wall net. I'll see if I can hear Dr. Mal from Hollywood. Let's see, where are we going? Hello, Larry, from Oz, from the land of Oz. He says, just checking in. Well, that's a good thing. You can just check in anytime. And if the net control is looking in the right spot, we'll say hello, radio. There's another station I want to see if I can get on the other two-way bands. I bet I can. Let's go to SWL 96. SWL 97. Oh, 97 is here live and direct. I caught you on the chat, so we got you in there, but you're by the radio. Staying up late tonight. Thanks. Thanks, Jim. We've got you. Let's go to SWL 98. Tracy is right there. I don't remember hearing you Wednesday, but you might have been out there. But you are here now. So the X is in the square. SWL 99, Radio Randy joining us moments ago from near Phoenix. We are going to try, can we? Yeah, let's try. Let me get the Echo link fired up, and we'll get an Echo link out to South Carolina. See if Tony is in KB6GFD. Hello, radio.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, we will get you checked in. Thanks for joining us over the Echo link from McClellanville, South Carolina. You are sounding good, and we are getting ready to fire up for the, TOTA, Tubes on the Air. Thanks for joining us, KB6GFD. Over to shortwave listener 102. And there it is, digital shortwave listener. You know, I do have a designation for the shortwave and the digital shortwaves, although I'm not sure if they're shorter or longer. Are the digital shortwaves shorter or longer? Happy New Year to all the SWLs. Thanks, John. And same out that way. Let's go to shortwave listener 103. And saying hello to the Squamish Boys. Albert is out there. You know, sometimes when he doesn't have that great position up in the balcony with the little laser light. You do that with the kiddies. You play the little laser tag. With the laser light, he has to he has to come up behind the behind the stage here and throw something at me to get my attention. Over here. All right. No, I see you. That's good. Thanks for joining us. You can head back up there. I see the popcorn machine is ready to go, so I will come up there. Save me a popcorn bag. We'll get it. I'll take it with me. Let's go up to SWL 109, Mr. Crawdad.
Good evening, Dennis. 109 Crawdad checking in.
And 109 sounding good from Auberry. Good consistent audio from sideband and AM. That is hard to do sometimes, to get your audio to sound good on both modes, because there are different things going on, but you've done it well. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
I have special settings for AM and special settings for sideband. I never can seem to make one of them work for both, but I'm trying. Let's go to SWL 110. SWL 111 checked in earlier over the year, so we get an X in the square thanks to the relay on that. And Dwayne, yes and no. I didn't know you were there, and then I did when I saw your posting, and then I got you both checked in. But just because I can, we will go ahead and put the 30, where is it, and the 10 up in the list there, and get it logged in for the record books to know that you are out there. Let's go to SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114.
114 checking in.
Mr. Rickshaw, you are sounding good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the check-in, Dennis.
And Uncle Hairball just jumping in up in the balcony saying, what did I miss? Anything? No, the tube radios are coming up. You're just in time, so find a seat. Let's go to SWL 128, who I do believe is saying hello radio. John checking in, who started SWLing at a tender young age back in the 1960s, when you could actually hear something on the shortwave radio. I went through the bands the other night, and boy, there is just it's lacking. Although not on 40 meters, man. There's just like every 10 kilohertz, there's a station blocking what you want to do, but in those other bands, it seems like there are not as many as there used to be. Let's go to SWL 131. And let's see, if I didn't say so before, if I didn't see it, let's go to 59, SWL 59. I can't miss that, so we will get to Uncle Hairball checked in. Actually, I already have an X on the square, so somebody must have whispered your name out here. Let's go to SWL 133.
Good evening, Dennis. 133 checking in.
Hey, boy, good signal. Really good signaling tonight. Maybe the rain and the wind has blown things our way. Maybe it's blown a couple of leaves off the camphor tree, making my receiver good. Dave, you are doing good here in Midtown, and we've got you checked in.
Thank you, now.
SWL 135. I think I'm supposed to proxy in Mr. Cliff, which I will do. SWL 137. Shortwave listener 145.
145. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Yeah, this is our first, I keep forgetting this, our first episode, as it were, of 2023. Got the email, thank you, and as usual, for some reason, I missed Friday, but I will get back into the mix, so thanks for keeping me on the roll call. We will try and do better. Anyway, you're sounding good here on AM. Got you checked in.
Okay, thank you, Dennis.
SWO 147, Neil in the house, checking in. He's got the 2-for-1 card. Looking good, and we will try to do better when they're calling us from the Sandhills, from Kakalaki, from wherever. When they're out here calling us, we can say, could you stand by from down under? We have an important call we've got to take. We'll get back to him. Let's try the guy that I don't know how he can be any louder or any stronger But he's going to figure a way to do it. He's got pictured proof. SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all the SWLs. 188 checking in.
All right, sounding good, Bobby. I saw the possible item of interest. That's actually scary. I think that's you're going to have to get a big crane for that, no doubt.
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be all right. We got the boom assembled, and I'm working on straightening all the elements out right now, and maybe here in the next couple of weeks we'll have a chance to pull one down and put the other up.
All right, yeah, be able to do a little testing for SWR, and we'll do a test. You'll point right at us, and I'll put the meter up, and then you'll point away. I think it said it was like 56 dB. Was that side rejection or backdoor rejection? I know, it was just incredible. So we won't hear if you're pointed the other way. Anyway, sounds good. And I guess, we really don't ever have really bad antenna weather, but the weather should get better for racing antennas. Sounding good. Thanks for joining us.
10-4, good evening time.
And I fret putting up, I have had the big 24-foot boom amateur antenna, but his makes that look pretty tiny, like a PDL2 maybe. Let's go up the hill to SWL 195.
195, checking in, Dennis. Good evening to you.
And good evening from Midtown up to Coarse Gold. Probably a nice, cold, crisp evening. Waiting for our next onslaught of rain. Hopefully everything is drying up and ready to go for the next round. You're sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis. We definitely got the...
Yeah, well, at least I think you've got some plants on the ground to keep the mud from moving around. Let's go over to SWL 226, Mr. Shockwave. Any other stations that I might have missed? We're going to be here for another hour or so. So if you're listening in, but you can't quite stop by on the microphone, and we will get you when you come by. I'm going to take a brief moment to set up for the tube radios, and we will be doing what we do best. Like the name says, the old tube radio network. Back in a moment. Okay, why is that not working? Should be good there. Should be good there. And here we go.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old tube radio network.
Or they should say your old tube radio network. Thanks to you for all these years for hanging out with us and bringing your radios on the air and stopping what you're doing for just a little bit to join us. We definitely appreciate that. All right, let me make... There it is. I gotta 23 happy to put something on the meter as we go along. We are looking for radio check-ins here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Number 7.
And I hear number 7. Take a transmission, sir.
Okay. We have the Tram TR27E, 23-channel transmit and receive.
All right, the Tram TR27E. Looks like the database is up and running. Thank you, Rob, and Frodix for keeping those things up and going. The 27E, a popular model, the final one in the 27 series. We'll put up the full-page ad. Maybe we'll also... Don't go away, because we're going to show the radio that we're actually listening to, because it sent us a picture. So we will take another step forward in CB communications as Mr. Ed takes a transmission on the TR27E base station. Over to you.
Yes, the big green machine, 5x7 speaker, nice big meter light, of course. It's lit up also, although only the top half is actually lit. But yeah, nice big, and you're definitely coming into the green because it goes green.
What did Kermit the Frog say? It ain't easy being green. There is the big green radio, the Tram TR27E with, there's only one thing small, and there's a big speaker, big knobs, big meter, and then if you want to see what channel you're on transmitting, whoa.
Yeah, everything's nice and large except for the little window for the transmit channel. It's kind of small.
Without looking inside of that, there may be some type of rotatable, plastic thing in there, and to get all 23 channels on there and to get it in that size that it needed, that's probably what they needed to do. Otherwise, they would have had to have some big slide rule thing that was probably an engineering nightmare. But it appears to be illuminated, and if indeed the light bulb is working, you'll probably see it just fine.
Yes, I definitely see the meter, the receive and transmit channels fairly well. And, of course, the winking and blinking little red light that says it's Majaputin.
From 1963, when they first were brand new, from good night, from 2023, when it's not brand new, but it sounds like it could be. And for those, I know we've explained this before, but we are looking at your radio, and there is, if someone is thinking, well, I have a 27E, or I've been looking at one on eBay, and it doesn't have that switch. What model is that? Well, that switch is probably just an addition that somebody put on, right?
Yeah, that was an addition that was put on there. I thought about just taking it out, but then it would leave a hole. So left it there. It was for getting down below channel 1 that they had on. I'm not sure why they would want to go down there, but that's what it was for.
Okay, well, there's AM activity down there, I know. Not much sideband, but this is not a sideband radio. Well, it is a double sideband radio, but there's an AM carrier inserted. The TR27E from Tram. Mr. Ed at the microphonium, our first radio tonight, so thanks for bringing it by.
And thank you. And, of course, the Electro Voice 638 microphone attached.
Choice of old tube operators everywhere. All right, thanks. And OTR is listening for the next radio. And Dwayne 30 says, thanks, Ed, for bringing one of Chrissy's favorite radios online. There's a lot of green to like on the face of that. And the jingle singers are around here somewhere, so let's get we can't start the party without the jingle singers, right?
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
Listening for Radio 2. And just going over a couple of things. I see Dennis 96 was in earlier, so if you're watching Mr. Poon Picker, we did get you checked in, or we do have you checked in, so no problem there. Hello to Craig from Nineland, Charlie Foxtrot Whiskey. Also see you here. And there's Kenny. Kenny was in, and Phil was in, 79. So I'll get Phil checked in. I think I got it, but I wanted to make sure. And OTR is standing by for Radio 2. Hello to Foxman 362, Rusty Rails joining us as well. It was good to see the stations stopping in from afar, or maybe joining us from the ranks of old Radio Night 007 Extreme CB, the Jersey Shore. Saying hello, radio. Mike saying he has 5 cats and all our brats. I hope some of the stations that when we get some conditions, we'll see if they can come in on Friday nights on the sideband net. On Friday night at 8 o'clock on 36 lower. And give us a call, see if you can hear us out there. Everybody's laying low. 2023. It's just like if you're not a moving target, you know, things can't happen. Jumping into the air chair just in time. Hello, Joe.
I'd like to check in my blackface, my Johnson blackface. T-double-O. The Johnson blackface 2 T-double-O. That's right.
The TW, you know, and you remind me, whenever you say EF Johnson, that I've got behind my left shoulder here the 223. Let me put a little power to the tubes on that to decorate up the Radio Shack here as we talk about the radio, basically, that begat the one I just turned on, the 223. This is a Messenger 2 without the 23, although it does have 10 channels.
Yes, Dennis, 10 channels, 10 tubes. Doggone it. I kind of missed the 223. I'm going to have someone look at it. I have it right here. But right now we're on this Blackface Johnson, and boy, it's just keeping the room nice and toasty.
Yeah, it's a little breeze starting to come through the window. The Blackface Johnson was, because it, unlike the earlier model, which was all chrome or silver on the front, in the speaker area they put the darker grill, and so it's like, oh, it's not the white face or the silver face, it's the black face. They were similar size, I think. So when someone said I had a Johnson, it was with a 1 tube, so the white face and the black face were what they said. I remember that was, I'm thinking back when I first got into radio, probably like the Lafayette Comstat 23, any of the Johnsons, the white face, the black face, the 223, and the Brownings were the most heard radio that I remember in my area. So the reason is they're still going today. Take another transmission. Oh, what was the microphone you have on that? Over.
Dennis, I'm on a D104, powered D104. And this radio is definitely a blessing on this end. I always wanted a Blackface Johnson. Yeah, this is the D104. Originally, it was wired underneath the radio. Harvey took and put the plug on the side there, and so I could hook this D104 up to it.
I believe that originally how they came, although some of them, like the one we're showing here, has a mic plug on the side. The first Johnson Messengers were definitely a wired microphone in, but so pick and choose. The nice thing about the Johnson, it will sound good with pretty much anything you want to put on it. I would say if you've got an amplified mic +3 or something, you have to make sure you don't over amplify it and make the audio a bit mushy, but you're doing just fine on that. And it sounds good, and we are pleased and happy to place it for radio number 2 tonight. Over.
Well, thanks a lot there, Dennis. It's always a pleasure to key this one up. It does take a little while to get warmed up, get situated. There are 10 tubes there that got to get together in there and get ready for the key down. I appreciate it, and we'll get another one warmed up there, Dennis.
All right, we'll be here to take it. Looks like my noise level just went up here. Yeah, it went from... Trying to adjust my RF level. Man, it went up to S7, down from about an S4, so that's almost 20 dB of added noise, added extra flavor that we don't want. But what we do want are your radio check-ins, the Tram TR27E, the Messenger TWO, as they say, what have you, OTR is listening.
Number 7.
Hi there, Ed. I hear you. I was trying to adjust my RF gain to get rid of some of my noise. You know, my noise. It just turned on. 20 dB of extra noise. No extra charge. I take a transmission. I will be going to what I think is the B side on my Rolodex to find your radio.
That would be correct. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB.
And I have a couple of photos to show. I'll do 2 of them. We'll do the one here that shows it on the table side by side with an external VFO down the end, which is not part of the Browning thing. But just so you can get an idea of the amount of radio table you might need were you to not stack them on top of one another. If that's the transmitter and the receiver, Browning never wavered from that, except maybe in their mobiles, but for their base radios, they never, as far as I know, I mean, from the Mark IV down, never combined the two. It worked. If it works, why change it, right?
Well, there you go. Oh, and I also have the stock banana mic attached.
That's a beautiful radio.
I agree. It is a beautiful radio. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III. This is the SSB version, so the length, the size of the transmitter matches the size of the receiver. And I'll go to another photo for those who are at oldtuberadio.net or over at oldtuberadio on the YouTube side. And there you go, straight on. They don't look as ominous that way, but there's still a lot of radio. But the gold knobs, gold face, nice big front firing speaker. I know everyone that I know that had a Browning always talked about, man, you just can't beat this receiver. Part of it's just having a nice speaker in front, but the other part is they had a great sensitivity, selective receiver, and no doubt you've probably compared the RX on that radio as opposed to your solid state multi-band radios, and I bet they're pretty close.
Yeah, that is definitely the nice thing about the Browning. The receiver is exceptional. It competes with state-of-the-art stuff. It's very good. So, yeah, cannot complain. Yeah, I need about 3 feet of table. It's just slightly less than 3 feet to going across with both of them right next to each other.
And that's kind of fun. Makes a nice radio table. does sideband upper and lower. This is the 23-channel version. This was from 1972 to 76. This was the update or the upgrade from the Mark II when, and gosh, I should try and find it. I think Jimmy Fielder had just the greatest shot of a Mark II train, and so they managed to put all those extra pieces inside the transmitter, and so it made it for a nice, albeit big, a nice package.
There you go. Yep, the good old Brownie with its on-the-air light that tells me that it's doing something. Definitely a nice radio. I had to have the good old Red Monkey and Harvey go through it to get it back up to snuff, but it's working good now.
Yeah, sounding great. OTR. And I've got a picture here. Let's see. Will it come up? Probably not. I always wonder, let me pop it in here, if Gary Owens, the guy from beautiful downtown Burbank, put his hand next to his ear. I wonder if he was an old tube radio operator. He had the voice and the microphonians, and I'm sure if Mr. Beautiful Downtown Burbank had a radio that it would have been a Browning. Thanks for radio number 3.
And thank you.
Yeah, I'm thinking all these, who was it said that? Foxman, I think all these radios, tube radios, are probably EMP proof. Some of them have transistors on the back for that's for like a DC conversion. Although you might want to run that way. Hard to say. Anyway, the old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. We are in the radio check-in time. Still space to get your SWL checked in. We're streaming at audio at ultituberadio.net. Join us there if you can, or on the YouTube side that's happening live here on January 7th, 2023 at approximately 23 minutes after 9 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, or maybe in the future if you're watching us on the replay. The Jingle Singers will tell us what it is that you need to do on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
We hope the station for you is OTR, and we are standing by listening for radio number 4. And there is, let me bring it up here. I found the photo I was looking for from Jimmy 34 of the Mark II. To simulate a Mark III, you had to have the receiver, the AM transmitter, I think it was a sideband adapter, then the other transmitter, and I'm not sure if that's the amplifier or not, but that's 5 pieces. Everett Speedball used to call that the Mark II train. So I was looking at that. That is definitely a little bit longer than having a Mark III, but pretty impressive. There is a lightning map. I don't have the lightning map up and running. I was looking to see if I could get the DX map, but for some reason it just shows up as a blank screen. But as you can hear, we definitely don't have any higher than 28 megahertz connections going on here tonight.
There's a lightning map?
There is a lightning map. Probably if you are smarter than I am. I think you can DX. You can search for lightning locator or something. I thought I had a shortcut to it, but when I clicked on it, it was something totally different. And it will tell you where the strikes are, and you can see if it's close to you or not. Apparently, it's fairly accurate. And yeah, I know. Don't ask me how they do it.
Well, I had high hopes. I think it was maybe first off I looked at maybe second campus. I put a geocon on there. Not the old file, but the new digital thing. You got to go by the 4 days. For you can get the ham radio bundle. But it's got like everything. It's got of course all the kit conditions, all the good stuff. The geocons are amazing. You get like planes going over. You get that you have earthquakes on there. You get planes on there too. It's like tip of the button. So you got very great. Almost geocons.
Yeah, I've always wanted a Geochron, and they have some newer ones out now that are not like the ridiculously expensive things that work on a 4K monitor. Before you go any farther, check your audio. It is really, really low.
How's this? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that is better. It just seemed low and fuzzy. Now it's definitely up. So I'm not sure. I don't think you're on an amplified mic. Maybe you are. Could be battery time. All right, that's better. Whatever you did is definitely better.
Well, I got enthusiastic about what I'm doing, I guess, all right. I was pretending like it wasn't quite so late, and yes, now I'm paying attention to the modulation lamp on this thing that I'm almost screaming into. Oh, boy, I'm reminded of how I don't like to do this late at night. But this is, and I guess I probably need to request a late check, and I'm extremely sorry for being so tardy, but on an unamplified microphone, this is live from the Radio Lambs SWL47 on a Robin T123B. B is in, brother, you gotta stop stuttering. How's that?
All right, well, this is the I'm sorry to be sorry frequency. What was that song about? I'm glad about being glad. That probably came out before the radio you're talking on came out. Let me go to Robin T123B. I've got the official check-in for 47, clicking on the 123B, the green, yet another green radio. We'll put it up on the screen. And then we'll go back for you on a transmission to see if you can make that modulation light blink.
Well, I guess I barely can. Again, I'm completely reminded of how you've got to practically scream into the thing. I do like the microphone on it. I know it really pushes me out of my comfort zone. But this, what I believe is a stock unamplified mic on this Robin, is really cool to look at, and I guess ergonomically it's pretty comfortable to use, actually. It just kind of fits in the hand, and actuating the button it just feels natural. I mean, you don't have to control your hand when you're doing something weird or uncomfortable, or you don't have to make or something that's too heavy. But you do have to scream into it like I just don't like doing, especially at this point in time of night.
Yeah, we're not quite out of prime time yet. Maybe you can get yourself a little soundproof booth, or maybe not soundproof, but that foam insulation, the foam soundproofing, or what was it they had on Yeehaw? The egg crates. You can build yourself a little egg crate area for your radio, so you put your microphone in there.
Oh my God! You know, for probably the 9 millionth time, your clear voice is just astonishing. Maybe 30 minutes ago, I was sitting on the table underneath just such what you're talking about, the foam egg crates that attempt to kind of deaden a room that's too live. Yeah, it's funny that you get that right on the head. No, there's no foam over here. Just boring furniture. Nothing spectacular.
Well, this is the room of broken furniture. I think I've got a dumpster diver chair that I'm sitting in. You know, I don't know why when it comes to this room we can't do very well, but if you go into the green room, there's some really nice stuff there. The desk. Can you let me go back? This radio desk I built, well, such it built is about 30-something years ago. Back on, I've got that picture of the first OTR from long ago, and it's part of this same radio table. This is a solid core door that I stained and shellacked because I needed it to hold all the weight, and then we built some shelves on top. So these things work. All right, well, the Robin is working. 1972 to 1976 is when it came out. And that's the same years as the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III. Of course, a lot of radios, when you look at the years they produced, they stop at 1976, and that's because you could no longer, somewhere in that line, you know, at the end of the year, it was you cannot make nor can you sell 23-channel radios anymore. So 76 was basically the last year you will see any 23-channel radio with a production date. 12-volt DC, it will do. I think you have, is that the one you run mobile, or do you do it on the 123?
Oh, that's a good question. I have only done mobile on the 123. I do have the AC cord for it. I do have the DC cord for it. As I've talked about, unfortunately, numerous times, I don't mind taking one for the team. I learned the hard way. You don't use one cord from one generation of a radio on another one and assume that it's going to work out, because it's just not going to work out all the time. I don't know. I haven't looked at the wiring schematics for the plugs on the power cords, but the 123B Robin 123B that I'm on right now has lots of new tubes. Actually, I believe it's all new tubes. And it got that way right after I attempted to use incorrect DC power cord. So there you go, folks. Be super careful with the power cords that you're using.
Yeah, if you could probably try that on the Panasonic two style chassis, like a Robin cord would fit a Gemtronics cord, which would fit a T-Berry cord, but you would think from Robin to Robin, but the T123 was definitely a different animal, even though it has similar items in the back. If you're at the YouTube channel, here's the box. There's the box that came in. There are a lot of people back in 1972 or 73, 74 that were very pleased when they were carrying that box in their house. It said that 5-watt, 22-channel Citizen Band radio transceiver, the looks and performance of tomorrow by the designers and engineers of today. And do you think that those designers and engineers back then knew that we would be talking with their radios in many tomorrows? UR Radio number 4 is the first Robin to stop by, and it appears to be doing what a Robin should do. Over.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. I'm glad the radio is doing what it should, even though the operator is not. I will make one final comment here before I stop wasting everyone's time. I was riding around with a youngster just a couple days ago. This young person, he's not even 20 yet, was talking about how they would have appreciated some sort of a PA on their automobile so that they could, do various things from inside the car, even talk with other people, or not necessarily talk, but one-way communicate. I'm trying to be very politically correct here. Communicate one way with people that are not passengers. Hopefully you can read between the lines there. But it put a smile on my face to say that, you know what? At one point in time, those ridiculous radios that I play on actually did have that feature. Yes, you did talk on the TV portion of it and talk to your friends and whatnot. But if you click the magic switch, which this 123B does have, you could even insult those that are around you just right outside your own car.
And I remember way back when people did have the little speakers in the grill, and they had the PA in their automobile. That's one reason that these work, because they have the 12-volt DC in there. So fun stuff, and I don't know. See, maybe we're coming full circle. People are getting tired of staring into their phones, and I want to get out and get a microphone in my hand and make noise. And I'm tired of pressing little things with my thumb and swiping. There's nothing on here you have to swipe to open. You really have to grab it and turn it and pull it, or whatever it is that you need to do. Before you go, did you say you are an amplified microphone or are not?
No, unamplified. It's the stock Robin microphone, what I believe is stock Robin mic, completely unamplified.
Okay, and I know you've got the range circuit in. I don't know. It just I'm thinking that radio should do better with the range boost on. I know the stock microphonium, how that sounds, and it actually sounds, fidelity-wise, you actually sound really good out of the stock microphone. But when we go gain-wise, it's definitely not making 80%. And like I said, I know you're not a loud talker, so that may be one in future episodes, if you ever do get something that will work amplified, to plug it in and see if the radio will handle it. Sometimes it's like, yeah, it's loud, but it's not clear. So something interesting. But we're hearing you 100%. The radio is good. We've got it as number 4 on the list, and all of its, let me click the button, all of its 11 tubes or 12 tubes, all of its 11 tubes sounding good, including the 12AX7 on the modulator. And I think it's got a 6BQ5 on the output. Anyway, sounds good. There is, it's a bonus, an operator's manual and a schematic over at oldtuberadio.com.
Hey, well, there it is. Actually, it's funny you'd say that. I don't think I have the cam photo fact for this particular radio. I need to look at that. But, thanks for allowing me to check it in. Yes, I have sat up from the air chair here and see that the modulation lamp is working a little bit better. So, anyway, thanks for letting me check it in. Everyone sounds great on it, and I think I'm going to go back into the radio lounge garage and attempt to fix the Blues Brothers style megaphone on top of my automobile, so that I can really start chatting with folks on the road. Should the need arise there. I just can't find a megaphone that large. But anyways, there it is. 73 to all from the radio lounge.
All right, thanks. Better than a Mr. Microphone for sure to have your 5 watt. It's probably got a nice 2 or 3 watt audio amplifier in there. You will sound pretty good. Radio number 4, the Robin T123B. Doing pretty good here on the old Tube Radio Network. Probably my J38 key. Is Larry still listening? No, he would like this. Let me turn off all this stuff. It is down right there. It's just out of the picture. I use that as my push to talk. I've got it wired into the PTT in the back, but I'm using the slide switch because my push to. I've got another J38 over here, and I've been trying. It's amazing. I was listening to some beacons on 10 meters, and it was taking me longer. I had to hear it like 6 times because my CW ear is not good. I haven't been listening enough. So Larry, I'm going to try and get on CW a little bit more to get my ear back. But you don't have to do transmitting, but it's like speaking a foreign language. If you know a little bit, when you get up to 10 meters and listen to the beacons, then we say, oh, it's a 7 call, where's that? And this guy's a 5 call, and you know exactly where the band is opening. And plus, the important thing is how much power they're running. If they're running 100 watts, you barely hear them. It's like running like 2 watts, and they're really banging in on CW. You know you're going to have a good phone contact. The old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's glowing in the dark. My name is Dennis in the air chair tonight. The Jingle Singers will tell us about the latest stuff going on here, and we will be looking for Radio 5. Thanks for joining us.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Did someone say wonderful and Fresno in the same sentence? I think they did. OTR listening. All right, well, here's one. I don't think 52 will mind. SWL 52, and for years, for over a decade, we've been hearing from behind the golden microphone. Let me see if I can get this. And there it is. There's 52 from behind the golden microphonium. Looking pretty good with that boom arm and the professional style stuff. All right, thanks, Aaron, for I didn't see that. But now we know that you've been telling us true. OTR looking for SWL, or rather, any SWLs in radio number 5. And you can see, before I unkey here, that the wind is coming up. The, what does JT call it? The window cadaver, the big bush out there is waving in the breeze.
60.
And 60 kilo Joe. We've got you. You have, I bet you have radio number 5, over.
Yeah, we've got 5. We just come in from the outside, Dennis. Doggone it, that antenna of ours is whipping in all directions. I know that wind must be around 40, must be around, well, maybe 25 miles an hour. But doggone it, it's got a rainfall in a 45-degree angle. It's really blowing hard out there. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Hustler bass. 8 tubes, 7 tubes, 8 channels. Not much to speak of on the backside. Doggone it, we did spend a little time looking in the backside there are two adjustments to which I don't know what they're about.
Oh, and where are those adjustments? Are they on the back?
Yeah, they're on the backside, back there with the plug and so forth. There are two little fine adjustments, just like screwdriver turnable, but I don't know what they're for.
Well, without a schematic and without seeing the rear of the radio, which I don't have a shot at that, I bet, or I would, there's a better word for that, I would consider that it could be, and I think one of the Robins had this, or maybe it's the Cobras, they have a tune and a load for your final portion. So there may be something where you can safely put in some type of a non-conductive tuning device, get to the tuning screws there and do some tune and load for peaking and then maybe dipping the final. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if that's kind of a telltale way of when you have two of them in the back, that's what it could be for, and it's a nice way to not have to take the case off and do that and be exposed to all the voltage in there. So I don't, from seeing and hearing, I'm sure yours is adjusted correctly.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. We won't turn anything we're not supposed to turn, and I will make a note of it though, so I'll know what I'm talking about there on the back side of this radio. Not much to the little Hustler base. You have your volume, your squelch, and your slot for an extra crystal, and your crystal tune. When I go to the one up above, let me get my glasses here. When I go to that one up above, the on and off switch, I put it up and cuts you off. We don't understand that.
Which switch does that? Over?
Top right in the middle of the two knobs from the squelch and the volume, where it says on and off. We turn it on and it cuts you off.
Okay, and I believe it should, because actually what it is doing, it's the same. Well, think of it as like if I was talking now and you were to key your microphone and take a transmission, what would happen to me? I would go away. You're because you are transmitting. The spotter switch is the same thing as pushing the button on your microphone, but when you do that, you put out 5 watts of power out of the back of the radio. When you put the spotter switch on, you probably put in micro milliwatts of power, but you put it right into your receiver so that the receiver can try and find where your transmitter is. So you are correct. When you hit that spot switch to on, it's the same as if you were pressing your push-to-talk microphone. It shuts down the receiver and it listens for you. So that's why I believe then you can rotate on your tuning knob down there in the bottom to where, and it may either make a noise or I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it spots you. So my guess is if you do that and it works like it should, your tuning and transmitter are where they need to be. But that's what's happening. You're basically transmitting when you put that switch on to the on position, but you're transmitting just to you.
Oh, okay. That makes sense there. And we have got a on-the-air light to let us know that we're on. And the little base station is definitely equipped to put under one's dash if you wanted to. It has its hardware and its mic hanger, and the only difference would be I'd have to use my original blue mic to transmit on, because I don't think a desk would be too comfortable in the car.
Maybe not. Well, as you can see, this does have the little mobile side brackets, as most of these radios did, because it was designed to be a licensed mobile to base. You weren't supposed to be talking to people you didn't know. unless you were business-wise, but it's basically Unit 1 base to Unit 1. So there you go. So a lot of them said, well, we've got to make it versatile. Got to be able to buy one, put it in the house, and buy another one, and put it into the Chevy Impala, and then get that 102H whip on it, and we are good to go. Radio number 5, Hustler on the World Radio Labs Hustler, the Blue Radio. And again, I think from all our time doing this, from 1980, whenever, you are the first and only one to come in with the Hustler. So good deal.
Oh, we like that. We like that. And also the squelch on this thing is a little bit crazy light. And instead of opening up the squelch, you'd shut it. You'd go the opposite way with it in order to receive. You got a few little things there. And the old meter is pretty accurate, although it starts from the top, and as it warms up, it goes down. And then it starts to receive. Doggone it, a few things there that they don't exactly make sense to me, but that squelch is one of them. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot. We appreciate you letting us check in this Pretty Blue Radio.
Thanks for bringing it by. And it's probably one of those school of thoughts thing. I think the S meter reading was one of them. Art Collins had a theory about so many, dBm over minus dBm to make your S9. And then Ken said, oh, no, it should be, in 50, it should be minus 100. And so you had two theories for what the S meter should be. So my guess is somebody said, well, in a squelch, what you're doing is you're opening the thing to let people in. And the other one said, no, squelch is you're backing it off. So in theory, you want it to go this way because you're backing down. Now you want it to go this way because you're opening it up. So I think it's one of those things you have to train. Your brain has been trained in. The wind is definitely coming up over here. So I'm not sure if it's getting into the microphone. I may have to close the window because I get mic noise. And they're saying, oh, well, I'm keyed up here. I forgot. Yeah, they're pointing to the wind is blowing my stuff off their thing here. They said you did not do the pen for the pocket protector. And I will do that right now on this long transmission. Then maybe I'll have to go fix the window. CBS Tubes. McCroy Incorporated, Wheeling, Illinois. Phones in Chicago and Wheeling. In the LE and the BR prefix. Let me go to less than stellar camera here. I think it's right here. Yeah. And there you go. CBS. What is it? I forgot already. McCroy Incorporated, going in the pocket protector. We are listening for radio number 6.
Breaker OTR.
The Breaker OTR, hello, radio.
Hey, Mr. Smitty, the 49er here, along with Sweet Country Mama checking in. We had to make a quick trip out to Sam's Club, but from the looks of it, it wasn't quite such a quick trip. But able to get home to check in officially. And while you're doing that, if I may go ahead and check in with Browning Eagle R27F23 combo.
Oh, wow. And I got you checked in earlier because I had heard you checking in with that earlier. And I think I made a comment about how great it sounded and how on most of the Brownings that I hear you on, you have somehow managed to tame without ruining the Browning flavor, is to tame them down to this full fidelity without, making it not the loud thing that the Browning is. So let me go to the Rolodex and find your radio again. What are the models? Make sure I get the right ones here.
This is the Browning R27 receiver and S23 transmitter. And, we've done a whole lot of knob twisting and tuning around to try to get that sound that we were looking for. Not very easy to do on the Brownings. They seem to have some audio limiting circuitry as far as frequency range goes, and we've had to do a trick or two to try to get as much range as possible out of it. But it's sounding pretty good through the headphones, and hopefully it's sounding just as well through the receiver there.
Sounding great. I've got a shot of the R27S23. This one also includes the 180 business band amplifier that was produced to match. I believe that was the one that matched that set, because I see that all the knobs look the same. Not sure if you have that as well, but you do have the transmitter receiver. The first one to wear the eagle, it's not a golden eagle, but to wear the eagle moniker. It wasn't a badge, it was more of I think like a silhouette of the eagle, and I think it's over there on the transmitter, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we would sure like to have the business band, if you will, amplifier to match it. And we've looked at those over the years, but my God, guys are just willing to pay an absurd price for those. I guess they are pretty rare, especially to find in good condition, but we sure would like to have that to go along with it. Well, maybe someday.
All right, well, you're doing a good job, so however you've got it, you certainly wouldn't need it to get into the old Tube Radio Network here tonight. You are radio number 6, and are you the first Browning? No, you are the second Browning, and with that, you have beaconed the Brownings into the most heard manufacturers so far, and doing a good job. And I know the radio's got a typical Browning receiver, which is good. Produced from 1964, somewhere around 64 to 1966. The Browning Eagle Base Station Series 2 consists of the R27 Series 2 receiver, the 23 Series 2 transmitter. Some of the differences from the Series 1 and Series 2 are larger meters, neon modulation indicator, and the lighted on-the-air indicator. So do you know if you've got a Series 1 or 2? If you have the neon, which I think is the orange modulation indicator, that is the Series 2.
Okay, and yes, I do. As well as the on-air light that I just got working for the first time in New Year's tonight. Yeah, beautiful set. My personal favorite set from the Browning lineup. And I picked this set up years and years ago from Mr. Yogi Bear 559. My God, I find myself talking louder the harder this rain comes down. I don't know what it's like in your area, but it's sure getting nasty here. All right, well, we will make this quick and check-in quick, see if we can get another radio out here. But, yep, we absolutely love the set, and we're very happy to own it. Looks just beautiful up here on the shelf, and we're going to enjoy using it. So, appreciate you checking in, and we enjoy bringing it by, and starting to shake. It's getting so cold out here. Wishing everybody a fantastic evening, Dennis, and thank you for the net.
Yeah, we're getting a storm cell. The wind came up. The temperature's definitely dropped. It's getting cool in the room. And before you go, did you say you got that from Joe, Yogi Bear?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. About 2010, I believe.
Wow. Now, here's something that's interesting. The photo that I'm showing, I'm gonna tilt down. It is from Joe's collection, and we've had this in our files for a long, long time. I am wondering if this is indeed, if we've gotten lucky enough to be actually showing the radio right here on which you are talking, because this is from Joe's collection.
Okay, well, I know he had 2 sets of these. So I guess there's about a 50% chance there that that's the one I'm talking on now.
All right, pretty cool. And this has, like I said, again, it has the matching amplifier up there, just so you can see the whole pieces. Good deal. Radio 6, the Browning Eagle, R27, the receive unit, the S27, the sender unit, 1964 to 1966. And if in the day you were running around with $359 and you didn't decide to buy a washing machine, or probably a black and white nice console 25-inch television, or maybe even a used 1956 Ford Fairlane, you would have been buying this radio. Sounding good.
Well, thanks again for allowing me to bring it by and keeping this net going. Big thanks to all of our tube restoration operators out there as well, and it's great to hear these things on the air to this day. So thanks again. You guys have a very blessed weekend.
All right, thanks for stopping by, and we've got you and Sweet Country Mama checked in on the SWL side. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio is Glowing in the Dark. I'm going to jump over to the Jingle Singers. We are getting close to the edge where I will be counting and amounting, but we still have a bit of time to get your radios in if you would like to do that. So stop on by. We'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
Oh, that hurt.
It sort of hurt here, so you're closer to it.
That was a little better. Okay. Number 20 here on the Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 from Browning Lavatories with the custom D104. Custom only because it's got that little medallion stuck on the back there. Anyway, so please check this radio in. And I want to thank you for serenading me. I think it was a week ago there, with the sultry sounds of Dennis, and I appreciate all of you that did that and wrote that thing up.
Well, yeah, that happened because the people that were supposed to be here to do what we heard last week got stuck at the airport, so I had to do something. When you get put on the spot, that's what happens. So it's somewhere where you can replay it, and you should do that for your daughter. So when you run away from something, she gets an idea of like, oh, well, that's why, because you're an important guy, and they make music about you. So anyway, it was fun. And maybe we can contract, Michael Bublé or somebody that knows how to sing to do it properly.
Oh yeah, I really appreciated that, and kind of a little embarrassed there at the time there. It was really nice. Okay, I'm gonna back out. I got let's see, what time is it? Oh, about that time. I got one more to do, and then I will be retiring to the other room.
All right, we have added your radio in as number 7, the Browning Golden Eagle R68T68, or is it the Beagle? I can usually, if I take a look at it, I can tell by the tail.
Yeah, you can tell which one this one is. It's the Beagle.
Yeah, nice and loud and sounding good. Doing some counting and amounting here. We've got room for more radios. The Old Tube Radio Network on the first episode of 2023. That's amazing. It's amazing. This jacket is just starting to feel more in style every day.
Now, can you tell which one this is?
Well, it's not the Beagle. It definitely has, the ping is different, and it has a different sound in the audio a little bit.
Yeah, this is the Beagle. This is the one that sits right next to it. The other one, when I have time, which means probably in the next month or so, I'm going to have to pull it down and check the receiver. I do believe there's a little thing going on in the audio output section I have to fix, and that will take care of the ping, make it go back to where it should be. It's that kind of, what do you say, got a little bit of a problem with that ping.
It sounds good. I mean, your pings are always exceptional and stellar and sound good. I don't know if you can hear him there, but Brian's browning, he does, I don't know, it doesn't have the real shrillness on it, but it's got really good, he's got that real nice low frequency fidelity thing coming out of a Browning. I've tried to do that, but like you said, they do, and you probably know this, they do something inside on that audio circuit with capacitors that said, you know what, we don't think that anything below 200 hertz is communications quality or necessary, and we are going to make sure that it's not coming through.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a way to lower the tone, but then the ping just sounds more like a pong.
Yeah, are you pinging or are you ponging? Well, it sounds good. It's doing what it should. And if there are Browning fans tonight, they're going to be happy, because I think it's the last couple of weeks that Brownings have not been the most heard manufacturer, as they are probably going to be tonight. So back-to-back R68 T68s. If I didn't say the brief history, we noted that from 1964 to 66, or late 66, was the R27 S23 that Brian was on. That was followed by this radio, which is not the Mark II, the Mark None or the Mark I, and this is logged from 1967 to 68. So this may have had the shortest run. I'm not sure, because the Mark II came out after this, so I'm not sure how far, if it was a full year or 18 months. $395. I'm showing the original, the same price as the R68 T68, or I'm sorry, as the R27 S23, which I'm thinking, is that correct? It seems like this would have been a bit more expensive, but maybe not. There was a Series 2, 1 and 2 on this. It says Series 1, some receivers have a variable RF gain, others have a 3-position switch for RF gain. There was an optional wood cabinet. What they did have with this was the optional wood cabinet and the optional bass speaker at about $25 each. So if you are still there, and I haven't talked too long, do you know if you are the Series 2 with the 3-position RF gain switch? Over.
The Series 2 with the 3-position RF gain switch was the Beagle. Now, usually what we see, let's say eBay, or what people have, is the 3-position switch on the receiver, and on the transmitter, the on-air light. The other one is the one where you have the variable RF gain control, which is what I'm on right now, receiver-wise, and the spotlight on the transmitter. That usually went together, and then as far as I can tell from what I've seen, and so you'd have the spotlight with the variable RF gain and the on-air light with the 3-position switch on the receiver. And that's what I'm on right now, the RF gain control receiver and the spotlight transmitter.
All right, I just zoomed in. I can see the picture we have has got the 3-position switch on the, I guess it's the receiver over by the speaker. I don't see where the on-the-air light is. I see 2 lights. I guess the mod light. There's 2 lights on the transmitter, but I don't see any other on-air light on the receiver.
No. Okay. I misspoke, possibly. Okay. The on-air light or the spotlight, that's on the transmitter, depending on if it's Series 1 or Series 2. And then the 3-position switch, of course, and the RF gain, that's on the receiver. Yeah. The on-air light is on the transmitter, and the spotlight is on the transmitter, depending on which series you have.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you were correct. I can't zoom in on the picture, but the transmitter has 2 lights, and the receiver has the 3-position switch. It's also a slide switch on the transmitter as well. What is that? Looks like a two-position switch.
CBPA, and right below is a volume control for the PA.
Wow. Well, there you go. I think it was Mike was talking about wanting a PA. You can't really put this in your car, but I guess if you were out at the picnic or... see, now that is so weird to have this as a PA. Maybe it was a business. You could, and I'm thinking that was what it was too. They said, well, people are using this for business, and they're going to be saying, this is KO 8492 base to unit 17 and 14. You guys get back here. And then they're going to switch to the PA, and it's going to go through their system wires out to, the employees, and saying it's time for a break. So there you go. Browning thought of everything.
Oh, pretty much. Now, something unique on the Beagle is the lock set, manual fixed. Usually, when you go from manual to fixed, the fixed is a one-channel wherever you set it with the lock set for receive. So if I wanted to receive, let's say, channel 19, I could be receiving manually on 11, flip it to fixed, and if I tune that lock set with a little screwdriver, flathead screwdriver up to 19, then I'd have 19. Well, that's not how the Golden Beagle works. Somebody went in there, and I'd have to look at the circuit, and what's happened is they've set that lock set so that when you flip to fixed, it's not one channel. What happens is channel 1 becomes, 27, I think, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, something like around 27. And then you have your upper channel. Similar to what they did with the Mark III, when you had the high freak set up on the dial. They did that in the Golden Beagle. And I couldn't figure that out at the very beginning. I went to fixed and said, hey, this doesn't work. And then all of a sudden, I saw what it did. And I think whoever did it did a great job, because on that radio, I have the upper channels tunable on the dial like the Mark III. So I like that. And the Mark II came kind of that way. But they did that on my Golden Beagle. But on this one, it's just a lock set.
All right, well, if it's a modification, they did it correctly. I mean, I know you always can shudder when the modifications are not quite up to spec, or you think, why did they do that? But it's a useful thing, but it's like, why did they do that? Good deal. Radios 7 and 8, the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, whether it's a Beagle or a Bagel, you decide. Harvey, thanks for your input to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Roger. Right now I'm on the lock set. Works great on this one. All right, we're out.
And let me say if there are any more radio... Okay, the Jingle Singers are ready to go, and I did get my pocket protector pen. We do have the radio on in the back, and then the Jingle Singers, as they often do, said this.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Counting and amounting. All right, where am I? We are back. I've got some strange things on my screen here, but I think I think I am good. I don't know. I think I've just messed up the picture. If I'm anybody watching the video is like, what's he doing? He's moving up and down. I'm supposed to. They're just saying, well, you can sit there or you can wait. You can wait for the fanfare and you can do your thing. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
It's almost as if I have done this before. It is almost as if I've done this before. That's why I need the crew beer to point and cue cards and all of that. The Old Tube Radio Network 2023 continuing on thanks to the tube radio operators that are very gracious with their time and effort and money and space to help us out, and the shortwave listeners who enjoy listening, and we appreciate the comments, especially if someone asks a question of our tube radio operators. Since, I don't know, sometime in the I'm sure we have a date, and I've got some of the old, we've got papers that go back. I've got stacks of check-in papers that we've been doing this, but we will continue. There are radios out there. There are people to see, places to go, tubes to fire up. Tonight we had 8 radios on the SWL side, 16 on page 1, 16 on page 2, 12 on page 3, and 23 on page 4 for a total of 68. I do believe, let's see, and radios. We had 8 with the Brownings being the most heard manufacturer. Started with the Tram, TR-27E, thanks to Mr. Ed. Joe was radio 2 on the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO. Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB from the collection of SWL7, thanks for that. The Robin T123B from Mike, thank you for bringing that by. We had Mr. Hustler on the Hustler from World Radio Labs, Joe with Radio 5, Brian on the Browning Eagle R27S23. Have we solved the mystery of what happened to Joe's radio? Well, we know one of them, so I'll make sure I bring that particular picture up because it might be the actual radio. Radio 7 and 8, as you just heard moments ago, on the Old Tube Radio Network, the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 times 2. With the Beagle and the Bagel. And let me go back, because Michael, I see you. I see Mr. Cobra, so let me do the official SWL lucky number 13. As Mike would say, checking in, so that adds another one to page 1 and to our total. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us in this new year. Hopefully you'll be able to hang out with us on Saturday evenings as we do what is known as the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks. And boy, do I hate that. S7 noise level.
Good job tonight, Dennis. And by the way, we had a unusual power outage here. A split second knocked out one refrigerator light out of 2 in there. Well, out of 1, 2, 3, out of about 4, and then popped one of the lights in my daughter's room. But the radio room seems to be okay. But that might have happened somewhere else around town also.
Oh yeah, those are the really weird power outages where the power goes down and goes up or spikes. Sounds like you might have had a spike as well. Sometimes you get the power lines snapping together or wind happening. And hopefully your computers were okay. If they're on a battery or a UPS, that's where UPS helps out. I know way back when at the radio station, at the TV station, we had a similar thing happen where the power just slowly failed, and it does not do really good things if it doesn't kick in your generator on time or your UPS on time. So yeah, hopefully there won't be anything like that coming up in this other storm. And John says, don't forget to feed the cat. No, when I get out of here, Insane Little Kitty will not let me forget to feed or do whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So, well, I'm glad to see that it didn't affect the radios. It would affect probably the computers more than the radios. And the tube radios probably, they don't care. Turn the power on and off and on and off. They don't care. All right, they're sounding good, Harvey. We will talk some more. You sounded good on the net last night. We don't hear you much on the other frequencies. We're going to have to set up like a 10-meter AM. I think you can do that. I don't know what your license class is, but I think the radio you have will do 10 AM. So do some 10 AM here locally. Oh, by the way, since I'm still, I guess, keyed up, I did renew my license just in the nick of time. I was doing it over the holidays, and apparently you can get on the FCC website, but they won't let you do any transactions of paying and things. So you can get all this stuff set, and the payment thing doesn't show up until they decide to come back. But I did get a note saying that they received my money, and I will be, unfortunately, I will be the first to admit that it was not as easy. It's doable, but it was not as easy as I thought it would be. There was a lot of, well, register for this, and then go to this page, and then go over here, and then go back to this page, and I don't know if I was doing it wrong or whatever. So if you need to do that, just let me know, because we'll have to double team it, because it may take a half an hour or something, but it's doable, and if you want to pay online, I think they take a check or credit card, so we will do it.
Okay, I will need help, and I know of another gentleman that will need help too, so we'll figure it out. And about that UPS thing hooked up, I don't use that. I use FedEx.
Oh, okay. Yeah, FedEx. And it sounds more like and I agree with one of the listeners, it sounds more like a power surge if it actually breaks things, where it's taking your 120 volts and doing something where it's crossing the wires and then, oh, let's make it 240 for a minute and see what lasts with that 240 volts going to the line. Yeah, I just checked. It took them 3 days to process it, because I put it on the 1st, and then I think I paid on the 3rd, and it says it was effective on the 6th. And my redue date was on the 5th. Talk about the procrastination club. But it's there, and it is ready to go. So we'll work on yours. I think we could probably do it over the phone. It's just you're going to have to be sitting at a computer. Oh, and you have to know what your FRN is, which is easily find-outable by going to QRZ, I think. I was looking for mine. I think that's where I got it. You have to have your FRN number, basically, for the FCC to find you. That's sort of like your social security number on the FCC. I'm just looking, and I don't see it. Why don't I see it? FCC view FCC record. Anyway, it's all there. It's all online, so it's not hard. It just takes a while.
Well, for those of us who are supposed to, I guess, keep a copy of our license in our wallets or purses, no discrimination here, it's on the bottom, the FRN number.
Yeah, and then they have a link to the FCC website where you can find it. And they don't send out the paper copies. They send you something that you can print. There used to be a way you could go on the website and get, through the back doors there were a paper copy. And I noticed when I was there slogging around the other day that they had a little box saying, we no longer are doing a paper copy. We don't care where you go. So I will have to print that out. Maybe I'll make it bigger. But anyway, it's good to go. It's nice to know that my expiration date is in 10 years. So I'm good for 10 years. And on the Old Tube Radio Network, there is no expiration date.
You got that right. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give it one more shot myself, and then we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'll contact you, and we'll figure out how we can get together to do this thing. Anyway, you might make a little extra cash. You can give a class.
Well, I certainly wouldn't charge to do that for amateur radio or anything. But I've only done it once. I bet there's some people that could could do it. Or there might be the nerdy YouTube guy that says, here's what to do, and he's put the stuff up on the screen, and instead of me trying to click on the wrong stuff, he clicks on the right stuff so that it only takes 5 minutes instead of a half an hour. But I was doing it during the holidays, and the FCC was closed. And when I finally got to we're taking your payment, I'm thinking, okay, I must have done it right if they want me to pay. Then they wouldn't let me pay. And so I had to wait for a date. There's like, here's your date, your transaction date, but here's our date. It was like 3 days later of where we're saying it is. So I'm sure it was the FCC. Government offices, closed on the 1st and the 2nd and not open until the 3rd. So, all right, it is doable, and yeah, we can be on the phone if your phone isn't your computer type of thing. All right, 73, as they say on radio, and we will talk to you all later from the Old Tube Radio Network.